What's up, everyone? Welcome to my new YouTube channel, JFO Fishing. I appreciate y'all stopping by. In today's video, we're going to share some tips and tricks to help the newer anglers catch their first fish, guaranteed, as well as share some common mistakes that can really decrease your hookup chances, plus how to fix them. Have you ever walked into the fishing aisle, took one look at the hundreds of options of rods, reels, numbers, and sizes, and just noped right out? It can feel overwhelming to even know where to begin. The gear is confusing, the lure colors are extensive, and the whole thing seems way more complicated than it needs to be, especially when you just want to get outside, chill by the water, and maybe, just maybe, feel that electric thump at the end of the line. But what if I told you all that confusion is unnecessary? What if with just a few key pieces of gear, one specific rod and reel, one type of line, you could be out on the water relaxing and cranking in your first fish this weekend? So let's break down everything you actually need to know and simplify this whole process so you can go from overwhelmed at the store to overconfident at the water's edge. But before we get too far, don't forget to subscribe, click the all notifications button for future videos, like and leave a comment or a tip for the newer anglers. It really helps. First and foremost, get your license. You don't want to be that guy. Fines are embarrassing. Now for the fun part, the gear. This is where most anglers get paralyzed by choice. You see a wall of rods, long, short, thick, and thin. Let's just make it easy. The single best choice for a beginner is a spinning combo. A combo just means that the rod and the reel are sold together, perfectly matched and ready to go. We're going to go with the spinning setup because it is the most versatile and forgiving for someone starting out. It's great for casting lightweight baits, and it's way less likely to bird's nest. You're going to be looking for a 6 to a 7 foot rod with a medium to a medium heavy on the back of it. A 6.6 is a fantastic all-around choice that will work just about anywhere. You'll see brands like Ugly Stik, Lew's, and Shimano. An Ugly Stik GX2 is really all you need. They perform way better than the price tag suggests. You don't need to spend a ton of money. A quality beginner combo usually runs around $60 to $80 and will last forever. Parts are simple. It's the Ugly Stik right here, my guys. Looks like we got a drum. Now the parts are simple enough. You got the rod, the reel, and on the spinning combo, you're gonna have a bail. And we'll talk about that soon enough. First off though, I'm gonna get this guy settled. That'll work. All right, you have your rod and reel. Now let's get that line right. Again, lots of choices. Monofilament, fluorocarbon, braided. Forget about the last two for now. Your new best friend is monofilament, or mono for short. Mono is cheap. It has some stretch. It acts like a shock absorber to help keep the fish from tearing out the hook. It's really easy to tie knots. Most important thing to look for though is the pound test, which is a measure of its strength. For a do-it-all setup, grab a 10-pound small spool of mono. This is strong enough for the common freshwater fish like bass, trout, bluegill, catfish, but it's still thin enough to cast like a dream. Most spinning combos will come with it already on it, but if it doesn't, now you know. Okay, so if your rod and reel did not come pre-spooled with line, then I'm going to show you how to do it right now. You'll start from the end of the eye and just run it through all the way back up till you get to the reel. Now when you get to the reel, make sure that the bail is open and not closed. When the bail is open, it allows the line to flow freely from the reel, and whenever it's closed, it allows the reel to, get the line back up on it. So make sure it's open. A simple double overhand knot will do, just to get it secured on there. And make sure you tighten down the lower one before you fully tighten down the whole knot. Then clip your excess and make sure to flip the bail back down. And then just start reeling in. You're going to go until you got about a 1/16 of an inch left on the reel. That's what this looks like right here. Alright, let's grab some small bait holder hooks. A lot of people get just too big of them. Go smaller. A 6 should be really nice. Then we'll grab one of these bobbers right here. Alright, so y'all get a 5, size 5. I had to get a 4 because they were out, as you can see. Okay, we got the rod, reel, and line. Let's put it all together and actually catch something. We're going to build the simplest, most effective rig in fishing history, the bobber rig. But before we get too far, I'm going to show you how to do this knot right here. So you take it, you run it through, and then you come back over it 5 times, and then put it through the hole. But before you tighten it down, put it back through the hole you just created, making the first hole. I like to go ahead and tighten my knots before they get down to the hook. It just keeps it out of the bottom of the hook area and on the top a whole lot more, I've noticed. Keep in mind too that the hook sizes are weird. They're in reverse, so the bigger the number, the smaller the hook. A hook size 6 or an 8 is going to be a perfect starting point. It's small enough for the little guys like sunfish, but plenty strong if a respectable bass decides to show up. From there, you'll take your split shot and you'll go up about 5 inches or so. Put it on your line and clamp it down if you need to. Most of the time they can be done with hand, but this one was it's a little strong. Last but not least, your own personal strike detector, the bobber. I usually put mine about 2 to 4 feet up from the split shot, and you'll notice here on the bottom I'll double wrap it, and then on the top I go up and I'll just do just a single wrap. You'll want to put pressure on the opposite side. That'll allow the hook to come up so that you can wrap it. There. Now we should be held in place. Let's move on to what fish like to eat. You know, lures are cool and flashy, but when you're starting out, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats live bait. Fish eat wriggling, living things every single day, so it's the most natural meal you can offer them. The undisputed king of live bait for beginners is the humble worm. Night crawlers or red worms are sold at every bait shop and even some gas stations near popular fishing spots. They work for pretty much every freshwater fish out there. Don't be shy with the hook. Thread the worm on so it's secure. Mostly you just want to get it up to the barbs that are right up the shank, but leave a little bit dangling off the end to wiggle. That movement is what rings the dinner bell for fish. Live minnows are another killer option, especially if you're after crappie or bass. If you decide to try lures later though, start simple with a small spinner or a jig. But for your first few trips out, stick with worms. It will skyrocket your chances of getting a bite and building that critical confidence. Okay, let's talk about your drag for a second. You're going to want to tighten it, which is the plus symbol, to whenever you're pulling on it, you're going to hear a click click. You're going to want to tighten that enough to where if a fish grabs a hold of it and turns around and takes off, that it's going to give him line, but he's going to have to fight for it. You're at the water's edge now. Your line is rigged, the hook is baited, it's go time. Hold the rod with your dominant hand, with the reel hanging underneath, and let out about a foot of line from the tip of the rod. Use your index finger to grab the line between the reel and the first guide, pinning it to the handle. With your other hand, flip open the metal bell. The line is now held by your finger only. Bring that rod tip back over your shoulder so it's pointing behind you, and in one smooth motion, swing the rod forward towards your target. As the rod comes just vertical past you, just straighten your finger, release the line, pull in a fish soon. For beginners, the best spot are small, accessible places like local ponds, small lakes, and slow-moving parts of rivers and streams. Fish, like pretty much all living things, want two things: food and shelter. They hang around cover, which is anything that breaks up boring open water, and this includes fallen trees, logs, docks, piers, points of land that stick out, or sudden depth changes. Cast your bobber rig towards these types of cover. The easiest fish to catch for a beginner are going to be panfish. Things like bluegill, sunfish, crappie, and perch. They're usually abundant and eager to bite, and they hang out in the exact spots that we just talked about. And that's really it. That is everything you need to know to get started. Let's do a quick recap. First, buy a license. Second, get a 6/6 medium to a medium heavy spinning combo with a 10-pound mono line. Third, learn to tie that simple bobber rig with a hook, sinker, and bobber. Fourth, put a live worm on the hook. And finally, just take it out to a body of water, cast it near some of that cover we was talking about. Fishing doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming thing. It's about getting outside, having fun, and enjoying the thrill of the unknown. With these steps, you have a real concrete plan to go and catch your first fish. Now, the only thing left to do is go do it. Get this gear, get out on the water, and have an awesome day. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments section below. I read every single one of them. And be sure to check out my next video where I get you rigged up for some big old fish at Walmart for under $10.